Hey squad, this is Brandon from the Bantu Sun. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is our daily take, so I usually like to have just a daily touch base, give a call out to some interesting stories that I'm finding in the news or I heard about and why they're interesting. So today I really wanted to touch base on the Russian importation of Iranian drones. So the reason why this caught my eye is because about 40 years ago, Russia was considered one of the premier powers in the world. Of course, the Soviet Union broke up, but there's still one of the top arsenal of nuclear weapons on the planet. So I find a couple call outs on this one that really kind of caught my attention. One, Russia is not up to snuff on modern warfare and technology. So that leads me to believe that this war in Ukraine has to be a defensive war, because why else would Russia take the offensive and invade Ukraine unless they felt they absolutely had to without the capacity? So the Orlan 10, which is currently Russia's primary drone, they're running out because they're getting shot down. So Russia doesn't have the industrial capacity or scale to continue to produce these drones in massive numbers, which requires, if you want to still use drones, if the Russians still want to use drones, requires they have to source them from somewhere else. So currently, Russia drone program has been relatively piecemeal, and they've been working with other countries to try to supplement it. Primarily, off the top of my head, Israel being one of them. Now, of course, in this wartime environment, in the sanctioned environment, Russia don't have access to that technologies or those drones any longer. So going to Iran is somewhat of an act of desperation. It shows that Russia, one, they really felt they had to go into this war with Ukraine, and two, Iran, under these sanctions, although they've struggled, maybe muddled through things, but they are still moving. So what sanctions are supposed to do is, in theory, they're supposed to make life so hard for the everyday citizens that either the leadership decides, hey guys, this isn't worth it, they step down, or a revolt happens and the people overthrow the leadership. Well, what really happens is there's an evolution that occurs. I think of it as a person with a job, right? You can have a person that's really great, and they work at a company that's big enough or important enough. They keep churning, right? Think of Alabama University football, right? You still got to get a championship the next year, no matter what seniors are going off to the pros. Same thing. So when you have a situation where you have a country, and let's say they were open to the global markets, but then they're shut off, i.e., Cuba, i.e., Iran, instead of going back and begging to get let back into the global system, what they do is they shrink into themselves, and then they either muddle through and figure out a different way of doing things. And that's what Iran has done. They figured out a different way of doing things. And in doing so, they learn how to survive and relatively thrive under this sanctioned environment. And that comes into fruition where you see that Iran, even though they're heavily sanctioned, has the capacity to influence affairs, fighting with militias in Iraq, influence affairs in Lebanon with Hezbollah, influence affairs with the Saudi war in Yemen. Yemen is not a neighbor of Iran. For Iran to be able to support Yemen in any meaningful way, there has to be a magnificent logistical system that they're operating to be able to support the Yemeni. So this all goes back to the Crypt 6, China, Russia, India, Iran, Pakistan, Turkey. This is a video we have out referencing who we think are the major players over the next 20 to 30 years that's going to be influencing events, being the headlines of the news, key pivotal players that are a threat to the current Bretton Woods system one way or another. And our various videos go into those different aspects and the different strengths and weaknesses of these countries. Russia and Iran are both Crypt 6 members. So one of the reasons Iran made it is because we're seeing that Iran, even under harsh sanctions, are able to perform. So when a country's like that and able to exercise some type of liberty, even though they're heavily sanctioned, they're a country to watch out for, especially one with the historical and cultural influence in the region as Iran. So let me know your thoughts. Do you think I'm off base on this? Do you think we're misinterpreting this Russia-Iranian trade arrangement that's going on? Or maybe the Russians just wanted to get some drones on the cheap. Who knows? But what I am saying is, I think it's something to take note of. And this changing of the guard, sort of, in Asia, and when the chips are down, who's really able to perform is very interesting. So let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, and subscribe if you appreciate the content. And let me know if I'm off base. Please comment below. Thank you. Till next time, take care. Bantu up.